Oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm working so much and I just don't know if I can figure it out. Oh my gosh, all these guys on my team are killing me. I'm pushing really hard, but I feel like I'm exhausted at the end of the day. Man, I don't even know if sales is for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like a failure, blah, blah, blah. All the things that we as women say every day get to end right now. In this episode, I'm going to show you the biology of your brain and how it's very different than a man's brain. And I'm going to show you your superpower as a woman in sales and how to start working with science and with the way that your body works and the way that your brain works versus working against it. We're going to go over the history. We're going to go over biology. Get out your notebook because there's a lot of writer downers inside of this episode. I will see you in there. Hey, beautiful. Welcome to an amazing episode of our podcast, Living Boldly Podcast.
This is your weekly big sister advice on mastering influence, embracing your femininity, and handling any challenge that life throws your way.
Have you ever been on a sales conversation and something in the conversation felt off? Maybe you were talking to somebody and the next line of your script completely doesn't feel like you. The sales objection handling that you've been learning feels awkward or feels pushy or manipulative, and yet it's being trained all over the world. What is up with it, and why does it not work for you? A lot of the sales training that is being taught today is still rooted in a lot of old school tactics. And these old school tactics, not only do they feel awkward and they feel disingenuous, they are also completely contradictory to what psychology and neuroscience teaches us about the brain and how it works and how it allows us to connect with other human beings. So if you're a woman in sales and you've been learning all this training and you're wondering why the hell does this not work for me? Why does this feel so awkward? It's because that old school training, first of all, doesn't work. And more importantly to understand is that sales training was never, ever created with women in mind. And that's not because we were like, oh, let's bash women, the women suck. It's because women weren't even allowed to vote when first sales training was ever created. Women weren't even in the workplace. So it's important as a woman, it's really important. And it's smart of you to understand the history of this and more importantly, to understand your own biology so that you can be really, really great as a saleswoman. Sales is not supposed to feel awkward or icky. It's supposed to feel good because you're helping someone else. Sales is something that you do for somebody, not to them. And it's silly of us to think that if we say the right thing or point out a pretty picture, somebody's going to buy from us. That is old school way of thinking, and it's time for us to end that way of thinking and be more intelligent so that we can serve and help more people. Let's go back in time. How did sales training come about? It was the late 1800s. The first sales training model ever created was the AIDA model. Now, this model came out when women weren't even allowed to vote. Let that sink in. Women weren't allowed to vote. Women were really not in the workplace because it really wasn't a necessity, right? That never became really a necessity until World War II, when all of the men went to go fight a war and women had to go into jobs like manufacturing companies and trying to help out where help was needed. Now, at that time, what happened is as soon as World War II ended, men all didn't come back yet. Some people had to stay for up to 2 more years to make sure that there wasn't a huge revolt or anything that happened and make sure everything was okay. And in the meantime, a lot of women, their spouse, significant other had died, so they still had to provide for their family. And then the men that did come back, they wanted their jobs back. And women, we didn't want to give our jobs back. For the first time, we were able to bring in our own money, have a sense of self, have a sense of purpose, have a sense of hey, I can do something versus just being at home. We got a taste of a little bit of freedom, and we didn't want to go backwards. So when the men, after the 2-year period finally came back, women got pushed out of those manufacturing jobs and went into more different jobs, consulting jobs, maybe assistant jobs, different things like that. And it became the birth of sales. 1950s came out with companies like Tupperware and Avon, and women for the first time in history were able to be in an entrepreneurial position and make their own money. From the 1940s to the 1950s, entrepreneurship for women went from over 600,000 women to over 1 million. It was absolutely incredible. Women had the ability to make their own money and to do it in a different way. When you look at the slogans for Tupperware, for Avon, it was hey, make money and have fun too. And I like to think about that slogan because I think that they were on to something. Can we make money and have fun too? Can we do it in a way that actually feels aligned to who we are? Can we feel, is it possible? Is it possible to work at a sales job all day long and not be stressed out at the end of the day? Is that a possibility? Because up until now, I have never heard of another woman talk about how to work your ass off and still feel grounded and have your nervous system regulated all day long. People teach that you have to pick one or the other. You got to hustle, make money and kill yourself to make it happen. I've been there. Or, let's be the feminine life and la 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 and roses and rainbows and soft life. Oh my God, yes. Which I think is wonderful too. Like, please take care of me. I would love to just chill out. I would love that. Yes, yes, yes. All the things I want to receive. However, can we create a both and? Is it possible? And today I'm going to show you how it is. Biologically, it is absolutely possible to be working hard as a woman and also feel regulated and calm all day long. And no one has ever really taught this because I don't think that everyone hasn't really experienced how to do it. And through trial and error, I'm not saying like, oh, this is the magic formula, but this is something that I have learned from years of being in grind hustle mode. I work more now than I've ever had in my life, and I'm more calm and more stress-free than I've ever been in my life. And I think it's a moral responsibility from woman to woman to share this knowledge with you so that you can take care of your family, make a crap ton of money, and also be in your soft life thing whenever you want to be. Yes? So make sure that if you're writing down in a notebook or something, take some notes, retain some of this information, pass this to another woman that you know, send them this podcast. Like, let women understand that it is possible to create a both and here. Old school selling doesn't work scientifically, neurologically, psychologically. It doesn't work. Why? Why wouldn't it work? Because the brain is wired to be in survival mode. And when you use tactics that feel like pressure and pushing, there's something in your brain called the amygdala. Oh, the amygdala. The amygdala is a little almond-shaped part in your brain that is the fear center of your brain. This helps you very well if there's danger nearby. If you're walking down a path in the forest and a big bear is there, it's like, oh my God, shit, there's a bear and we got to run. This is what's going to help you survive. And I've talked about the different parts of your brain before in regards to how trauma affects your body, but this is really important for you to start understanding the brain and your prospect's brain so that you can start selling better and that you can be closing at a higher percentage. Wouldn't it be intelligent enough? Wouldn't it be intelligent of you as a woman in sales to understand how your brain works and your prospect's brain works so that you can work with the brain versus against it? And that's what old school selling does. Old school selling, boiler room, 80s, 90s type of selling works completely against the way that a human's brain wants to communicate. Anytime that you're pressuring someone, pushing somebody into buying, the amygdala is going to be over heightened. Now, when that amygdala is over heightened, there's going to be cortisol, adrenaline pumping through the body, like your body is in fight or flight. If a human is in fight or flight, is it easier for them to buy from you, or is it possibly harder? And that's what I believe sales objections are. Sales objections are beliefs, fears of change. Something that you said, that you did, triggered some resistance, or maybe this person has been through a scenario or a social situation that has caused them to have limiting beliefs and fear within themselves. And now they are up against making some type of decision that's going to cause them to have to change. All humans have a deep fear of change. They're not going to want to do that. And so do you feel like their body in that moment is cool, calm, and collected? Or do you feel like there's a possibility that they might be triggered, that their body might be in a fight or flight response, that their nervous system is dysregulated? Of course, that's exactly what's happening. And so you have somebody that's basically having a mini panic attack. Just think about that. I want to dramatize this for you so that you can understand it. This person in front of you is having a little mini panic attack, and you're over here trying to logically explain to them why they need to buy. And oh my gosh, yes. Hey, is it this or that? Oh yeah, you need to make a decision. You're pushing and pushing. Dude, somebody that's having a mini panic attack and you're pushing them, that's not going to go out well. Imagine it's a big panic attack in front of you. Dramatize it even more. This person is telling you, oh my God, I don't have the money. And you're like, yes, you do. Well, like, what do you mean? What's going to change for you? Like, oh my gosh. Wah! Can you imagine? That is ridiculous. And yet it's being trained all over the world. Well, Kayla, if it didn't work, then why do people train it? Because it does work sometimes. Maybe this person's a laydown. Maybe this person, is afraid and then they do buy from you and they have some type of buyer's remorse. Maybe this person, somehow they were already almost there and something that you said just clicked for them. The problem is, does it work most of the time? It doesn't. That is called the numbers game. And it's the biggest lie that salespeople believe. And that's why so many people in sales don't make money. Sales profession can be one of the most lucrative professions in the whole entire world. You can make more money than you've ever imagined in sales. However, it's also the least lucrative profession in the world with the wrong skill set. And it is our responsibility as women to be intelligent enough to be able to acquire the highest skill set possible to be able to make our own money so that we can be financially independent if we needed to be. Every single woman has a responsibility to be able to save herself if she needed to. I think that that's a very important skill set every woman needs to have to make their own money. Am I here saying, let's beat the men, let's make our own money, we don't need them? No, I definitely want men in my life. What are you talking about? No, men are amazing people. Men, especially like a healed guy, right, in your world, not only helps you feel safe, but actually helps you increase your ability to be feminine. I'll explain that. So as a woman, I have my masculine energy and my feminine energy. My masculine energy, getting stuff done, right? Structure, organization. My feminine energy is the flow. As a woman, I can only be in my feminine as much as I can be as Kayla. Like, hey, this is me and my feminine. When you have a masculine energy around you, it expands your capacity to be more feminine. So you can get deeper into this energy, relax even more around this. It's a really beautiful thing. There's a reason why there's men and women, right? It's really important to have the dynamic of both. And I think men and women in a sales process both have very different strengths that makes them incredible. Let's talk about biology really quick. Men and women's brains are completely different. We release different chemicals in our brain due to different stress responses. When a man and women are both stressed out, our brains respond completely differently. And I want you to think about this in sales. When a man is stressed out, his brain releases more testosterone and more adrenaline, which allows him to push harder and be more competitive. Think about a sales floor, a stressful sales floor. Man, that's why men exceed so well on a sales floor. It's stressed out. Their body is producing more testosterone, more adrenaline. Like they're getting things done. Of course, like they're competing against each other, against the leaderboard. Like they are succeeding. They're thriving in that environment because their bodies are naturally wired to do so. That's why they're so good at sports. Like hell yeah, their biology is working for them. So that's why it's confusing for a lot of women because you're trying to play the same game. Your brain, your body doesn't work the same way underneath stress. And so if I am trying to be on a sales floor with all the men and the stress is there and they're pushing harder and then I'm trying to push harder, that's why my body burns out, which is why women typically only last in sales for 3-4 months unless they're in complete survival mode and they're doing it to take care of their family. That's why women are completely burnt out. The turnover rate for women in sales is extremely high because no one shows you how to sell like a woman. How silly of you to think that you need to learn every single thing about sales from guys. A man can't teach you everything that you need to do to be successful in your role because they're not you. Your biology is different. They'll not understand. Their brain works differently. Their brain thinks about one thing at a time. A woman is multifaceted. You think about multiple things at a time. So logically, it doesn't make sense. You can't learn every single thing from them.
Hey, beautiful. Just want to take one little second of your time to interrupt this podcast. First of all, I just want to honor you for showing up for yourself. Like, thank you so much for watching and for listening. Like, you have no idea how much it means to me. If you can just take just 1 second of your time, a little favor, and please hit the subscribe button. Please leave a review, comment on this, and share it to another woman that you know. We as women get to really stand and honor each other, and we do that by lighting fires at others' hearts. Sometimes a woman just needs to know that you believe in her and that she's capable. So please send this to her. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking that out of your time and doing that for us. You have no idea how much it helps and how much it helps us bring a really amazing guest on this show and get it out to more and more people. So thank you again. I will see you back in the show.
Can you learn a lot? Absolutely. Can you learn skills? Can you learn things that you can apply to your world? 1000%. But 100% of knowledge? No. That's why women used to be around like in caveman days in a circle, pouring knowledge into each other, sharing things, taking care of the kids, showing different remedies to take care of people. Like we were designed to pass knowledge to other women, which is what I'm trying to do for you right now. It's really important as a woman to share knowledge to other women so that we can come together as a sisterhood and a community and pour into each other. It's so important. Now, how does a woman's body respond to stress that's differently than a guy's? When during a stressful time, a woman's body her brain produces cortisol and oxytocin. It's very interesting. So instead of testosterone and adrenaline, your brain is producing cortisol and oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone chemical, right? It makes us want to connect with people, to see people, and makes us physical touch girls need a hug when we're having a rough moment, right? That is how our bodies are wired. So think about this on a sales floor. If we were to try to be like men and we're stressed out and we're trying to push harder, that means that we're trying to, dial more, get more action things done and go, 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 go. Our bodies get burnt out because it's not wired that way. We're missing the connection piece, which is why it's vital for women to have a community around them in order for them to succeed in any type of thing that they're doing. If you're in sales, you need a community of women around you that are pouring into you, not a catty group, not a group filled with drama, not a group that makes you feel less or inferior, and not that, but a community of people that are actually pouring into. Your biology needs it. It's very important. You can't be in an environment of all dudes. That's not how you're biologically wired. You need to have sisterhood and community. And we are in a time right now where that is very, very slim and it doesn't really exist anymore, which is why, our community, I'm so, so, so determined to be able to create a different type of movement for women to really support women. Personally, I know what it's like to not feel comfortable around other women. I found a video in my phone just the other day. I was posting something on Instagram. I was trying to find a video from a long time ago. Found one from 2020, 2021, and I'm talking on camera to my phone, and I'm talking about how I felt really uncomfortable being in a group of other women because of how many experiences I've had with women being mean to me, making me feel less than, making me feel belittled, making me feel like I'm not important, being talking down on me or calling me names, or betraying me behind my back, doing something with my guy at the time behind my back. I've had a complete book of evidence as to why I couldn't trust women. And I had to work so internally on that and heal that to be able to start making relationships and bonding with other women and creating a safe place for women because I never had one. And I think that that's the movement that we're creating today. And so if you go back to how you can be successful as a woman in sales during a stressful time, if your body is producing cortisol and oxytocin, wouldn't it make sense for you to be focusing on actual sales conversations and really connecting with your prospect versus pushing harder? If you needed to be in a stressful time and your body is craving, right, connection with people, instead of focusing on doing more, you need to be focusing on having deeper conversations with prospects. That's where you need to be focusing on. That's actually going to help you excel. It's going to help you make more money, not push harder, having deeper conversations. And women are biologically wired to have extremely great conversations. Your brain as a woman is different than a man. You have more connectors between your left hemisphere of your brain and the right hemisphere of your brain. You have a lot more circuits that are going back and forth. It's a stronger connection. And because it's wired that way, you are actually biologically wired to be really good at layering questions, which is what our red methodology is about. Our methodology in terms of how to sell is real, empowering, disarming questions. It is a psychological understanding of how to ask questions in order to create depth in a conversation so that it's not surface level, and being able to find problems in different scenarios inside of the call, being able to recognize patterns within your prospect that doesn't serve them so that they can be willing to want to change their problem, therefore buy your product or service. And you're biologically wired as a woman to be able to do this very efficiently because the way that your brain is wired, it's so cool. In addition to that, you have the ability to pick up on unspoken objections quickly. Some call this your intuition. This is also how your brain is wired. Because your hemispheres are connected deeper than guys, you can pick up on things that most men can't pick up on intuitively because you're wired to be a mom, to produce life. You're wired to pick up on things, to sense danger. Think about caveman times, like all the men were away hunting. You were able to be in a community with women and pick up on things that maybe you haven't been able to pick up on before. This is really important to understand because women are really great in sales if you learn how to do it in a feminine way. Old school tactics do not work. I can't be working against my prospect. I need to be working with them in order to uncover problems, figure out why those problems are there, what it's doing to them, get them to imagine what their world, what their life, what the business, what the department would look like once those newfound problems are solved, and what would happen if they don't solve those problems, the cost of inaction, in order for them to feel so much tension within their body as a human to where they want to release that tension by buying from you, by wanting to change. Sales doesn't have to be complicated. It's about learning how to do it in a feminine way. Your biology is working for you. Stop trying to work like a dude. Work like a woman. As a woman, you have the ability to be more empathic. Your tone, the voice that you have is more nurturing. It allows people to trust you more. You have to utilize this. The problem that women have is that you have the ability to get in rooms quicker than men. That's why women do so well in like B2B sales. They do so well on the phones, right? Because they can get past a gatekeeper easier. They can get past, the few seconds in a call because of the tonality of her voice. Women can get in the door. The problem that women have is that they're not committed to mastering sales, to transforming their sales process, to acquire the right skills. And so you consistently feel discouraged because you've only gone halfway. It's not about you just getting in the door. It's about you having the substance, about having the skill level to be able to sell somebody after the fact. So the reason why you're having a hard time is just because you have been guessing and dabbling. You've been a wannabe in sales. I hope it's okay that I can be your big sister really fast. I want full permission to be your big sister. I wish I had one. I never did. And so I'm going to be your big sister for you. The reason why you're not succeeding is because your skill level is not high enough. That's just what it is. Your skill level, your commission check, what's in your bank account is a direct reflection of your skill level. You get paid based on the value that you bring to the marketplace. If you want to be paid more, you got to be able to have more skills. And it is sexy for a woman to be intelligent. It is so powerful for you to be able to have substance, for you to learn what to do, what to say. That is a very powerful thing. Who said it wasn't? For a woman to be intelligent and not have to prove herself, right? Having that self-worth place is vital. A woman's substance doesn't need to be proven, right? You as a woman in sales, it is important for you to be responsible enough to acquire the skills so that you can make as much money as possible, be as successful as possible, to take care of your family, to be able to donate to charities, to be able to do something and impact this world. Especially if you feel like inside of you that you have a calling on your life or a destiny on your life. Have you ever felt like that? Like, oh, there's something more. There's something inside of me. I feel like I need to do something. And the reality of the situation is that many people are called. Few are responsible enough to do the work to step into that. You have to be willing to bend yourself, to rip yourself apart, to burn the old version of you, the old patterns, the old things that don't serve you, and be willing to step into something new. It's so vital. It's so important. That's why your skill set should be number one priority. If you are at a place right now where you're not making money in sales, it's because you're not doing enough and you're not practicing enough, or you don't have the right mentor or the right trainer, the right somebody to believe in you enough to pull you along. It would be really silly of you to kind of half-ass stuff. Maybe you're going to work every day, you're working really long hours, you're on multiple calls, you keep getting the same objection over and over again, but no one's actually sitting with you role-playing this objection so that you don't get it. No one's evaluating your sales calls to see where inside the call you're triggering resistance. No one has the ability to understand what's happening in your prospect's brain and how like what you said made their amygdala over heightened, and so they're trying to push you away. Like no one's giving you that insight, and so you keep feeling like you're on a hamster wheel not going anywhere because no one's taking the time. This is important. It's not that you're bad in sales. It's that no one taught you how to do it in a feminine way. Being in your feminine is one of the most powerful things that you can possibly do. It is an absolute lie to believe that you have to be in your masculine in order to sell things. That is complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. There's a way to do it in a feminine way, to utilize your masculine and your feminine at the same time, to utilize both aspects of who you are. How are you supposed to be in your masculine all the time in a sales conversation if you as a woman need to flow? Your biology shows you, the way that your brain is built shows you that you're wired to ask layered questions, that you're wired to be able to pick up on hidden objections that are not there. So it would make no sense for you to be in your masculine and you to be like pushing through the whole call, because then you would miss out on your superpower. Hello? You being in your feminine, you being able to pick up on these things is going to help you. You being able to challenge at the end, and you being able to reflect and be a mirror for somebody else and fight for somebody else, not try to get a commission, but really help somebody realize that the choices that they're making are not going to help them get where they want. Like that is the area that you get to work on. But you got to have both. If you're listening to this right now and you realize you're like, you know what, I've been guessing, I've been dabbling, I really haven't been all in with learning these sales skills. I've been kind of half-assing it. I watch a free podcast here, or maybe I go to a random event, but I haven't actually dedicated to train every single day, which is actually what's necessary in order for you to be the top 1% of what you do. That's just what's necessary. There's a way to do it to where you won't burn out and be like so like drained at the end of the day. There's a way to do it. If you're at that place and you want to train more, I'm going to believe that we're going to put a link in the bio here underneath this video. You can get on with my team. We can get on a role play with you and kind of work through whatever objection that you're going through. We can help you. We can support you. We have so many assets, so many trainings I can give to you. It is your responsibility to get the skills in order for you to have the life that you want. No one else's. I'll open a door for you. I'll reach out my hand. It's your responsibility, your choice to grab the hand and let me help you pull you forward. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you so much. You don't have to be like a dude. You're a woman. And being a woman is a very powerful thing. I see you. I honor you. And I will see you on the next episode.